Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced EP is Jesus Coronado, also known as I Am Ham7 in the cosplay world. Sir, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Ray.
Oh, no problem, man. I mean, we've known each other for quite a while now. We met back in one of the first El Paso Comic Cons that I was hired onto to do the photo booths and also video for. And you were dressed up as that awesome cosplay suit behind you, man.
Yeah, that guy right there.
And if I remember right, you won first place in that year, right?
Yes, I did actually. That was like because it was the one that I believe Zaya, the owner of Zaya Comics, took over.
Yeah.
And there was a previous owner before, so it was the first event that he was doing.
Yeah, it was the first year. It's Troy Segner from Zia Comics up there in Las Cruces. When they had bought the name from the original owner. They had their share of challenges overcoming the previous owner of that, and I think at this point they've done a really good job for taking that over and having to basically repair that name brand here in El Paso. I think they've done a good job, especially that first year, and turnout was pretty good, and it's gotten pretty big in the since then. But we're here to talk about you, man, and what you do all around. First off, let's talk about your cosplay and your builds, man. I mean, how did you get into that?
Well, it kind of spans to like a pretty lengthy story because like it goes way back to like the 90s. Because like, and I'm talking like early 90s, because if you look like above my head, you'll see this like Batmobile right here.
Right.
Yeah, I got that in like when Batman Returns came out. That was my birthday present in 92. and that like started the whole like my fandom of Batman, like ever since then. So that was like my introduction to Batman. And, you know, Batman was always one of my favorite superheroes, but then also the X-Men cartoons, like the 90s X-Men cartoons. Like that, like I went to Major Players back then. There's a video game rental store called Major Players.
Old school name drop. If you are not old enough to know what Major Players was back in the day, you missed out. I'm sorry. That place was awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, continue, man. I'm sorry.
So there was well, I guess you could say cosplayer because he was suited up as Wolverine. Like, and he was suited up in like the 92 X-Men's like cartoon series Wolverine.
The yellow, blue, and black, right?
I'm sorry?
Was it the yellow, blue, and black one?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And like me and my brother went to go meet him and we took a photo with him. And ever since then, I was like, man, it's so cool that like someone can dress up and be this character, because you know you watch it on television and you're like, dude, this is so cool. Like it's an awesome cartoon, and you would like to dress up as that. And then to see this guy do it, it kind of jump started like, you know, like, man, one day I'll do something. And then like you just like as you grow older, you learn things. You like I was always very like, you know, into art. So art was actually like, you know, a driving force, and I always like making things. It was either drawing them or making stuff with my hands, like it'd be cardboard or whatever medium it was. And that kind of drove me to where it's like, well, now that I'm kind of like learning things, like it pushed me towards like, I want to make my own costumes. And like, I literally would make costumes out of like cardboard and duct tape. And that's how I would make costumes back in the day when I was little. And, you know, like it evolved. Like when I got into sculpture class, I learned about all kinds of different materials. But the main thing that like kind of jump started everything more, because I would have other cosplays. Like I had in 2008, I did like Heath Ledger's Joker, and I had the prosthetics of the scars.
Oh, nice.
So that was like, you know, like, and you could easily just get like, you know, the coat and the wig and like style the wig and like just like do the makeup. And that was kind of like my first actual like full jump start into cosplay. Was when I started doing Heath Ledger's Joker. So that was 12 years ago. That was in 2008.
Wow.
And that was like, you know, my jump start to it. And then like Kick-Ass came out, like I think it was a year later.
Yeah.
And that was like another character. I was like, oh, Kick-Ass is so cool. So I got like a Kick-Ass suit, and I wore the Kick-Ass suit. And it wasn't until like when I went to college that like in my sculpture classes that I learned how to sculpt and how to do like things with different mediums. And then I found out about foam, and I saw people do foam armors, and I was like, hey, that looks interesting. I could kind of transfer my knowledge of sculpture and use that medium and create things. So then like that's kind of what started it. Like my sculptural background, and then my love for comic books, like since like childhood, wanting to be like, you know, dress up in costumes and be characters that I liked. And it was just, it expanded from there.
That's awesome, man. I mean, some, I know you have a few of those behind you there.
Mhm.
What has been in your opinion, what was the hardest, or what was the hardest one to make? And do you have a favorite um, suit or cosplay that you've made for yourself?
Okay, it helps to have it behind me, but this guy was actually the hardest one because it was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually made it 3 times.
Whoa.
I had to dump it twice because I got the sizing wrong the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I put it on and everything, it was like, you know, I try to do it just like on myself with help from my brother, like kind of just get patterns, but it didn't work well because of that. So then I decided to make a mannequin form of myself, which is actually in this guy right here.
Oh, cool.
And with that mannequin form, I was able to work on myself without having to really like, you know, like guesstimate the size. And then like the second time I made it, like I liked it, but there were certain details that I thought I could push it a bit further. And then it was crunch time though, because like EPCON was 2 weeks away
Mm-hmm.
and I had to remake everything. I finished this guy like the Thursday before EPCON.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I painted it, I got it ready and everything, put the LEDs. Like it was on Thursday, and I was like panicking. I was like, "Oh no, I need to get this done!" Like, cause when I was at EPCON that year, actually, I was manning a booth for the nonprofit that I'm in, Operation Hope,
Mm-hmm.
and like that was a suit I wanted to wear on Saturday because Saturday is like the main day, and I wanted to wear like the big ticket, and to me, that's what he was. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, because I had gone to San Diego Comic Con, and I saw the suit in display, so I took a lot of photos, and I was like, I'm gonna build this guy. So with
Nice.
the reference photos I took at San Diego Comic Con, that was like, you know, my inspiration. I was like, I gotta build this guy. I really love the way it looked. And then so third time was a charm, and I built it. But it's evolved still, even since 2016, because I've done a lot more improvements on it.
Dang, that's all, dude. I'll tell you the truth. The first time I met you and saw you and even interviewed you that day for that Comic Con, I was like, man, this guy's gonna win. Especially when I saw you walk up to stage, when they called you up on stage, I was like, man, if this guy enters the costume contest, he's gonna win. And that's exactly what happened. You ended up winning that year, and all your builds are just so awesome, dude. But the cool thing about it, which I wanted to mention to everybody out there, is that you also do commissions, right?
Yes, sir.
That's cool, man. I mean, that way, I'll link your information below in the bottom, so that way people can get in touch with you. Maybe if they, maybe hopefully when everything clears up for next year, man, hopefully they can commission a cosplay from you, and you can hook them up with that. But
Absolutely.
let's talk a little bit about the Operation Hope first, which is a nonprofit you help out. I mean, what is, if just briefly talk a little bit about what they do and how you help out.
Okay, so Operation Hope is, like we mentioned, it's a nonprofit charity here in El Paso, and it's run by the founder Angel Gomez,
Mhm.
and he has actually been active for since I believe like 10 years or more now. And like what that consists of is we do food drives, like we give food whether it's on Easter or Thanksgiving. So
Mhm.
we would give like canned foods like bread, milk, soda, and you sign up, you register, and we give food to the community so that they can have like meals for Thanksgiving or in Easter time. And we also do like school supply, like drives. We
Mhm.
give supplies to the kids in school. Like they come pick up a backpack loaded with like pencils, notebooks, pens, like color, like crayons.
Right.
And then we also do like hospital appearances. So for like we've gone to visit like the children in the cancer wings, and we've dressed up as superheroes and we go surprise them.
Yeah.
Which like honestly, that's my favorite part of the like the group, the nonprofit, is being able to do that.
That's so cool, man. I've seen pictures, and just the smile on those kids' faces within the pictures, and just knowing how some of the I know some of the celebrities and stuff do that, but just I'm sure just seeing you walk in your Batman suit or whatever you're cosplaying at that time. I mean, I'm their smiles on their faces and the pictures are just awesome, and that is just such an awesome thing for you guys to do, and for you to do. Take time out of your day to brighten those kids' days, just for, even if it's just for a little bit while you're there. And I just want to thank you for doing that, man, because that's so cool what you do, and it's just really nice.
I appreciate that. Like for me, it's more like, like you said, like you see their smile,
Mm-hmm.
and that in itself is the biggest payoff ever. Like, because there's no money involved in this whatsoever. We don't get paid to do any of this. This is all voluntary. Like, we do it out of our own voluntary will.
Mm-hmm.
And we go visit the children in the hospital. And when you see their face light up, like, that is the biggest payoff. Like, you're like, that's what I wanted. I wanted to dress up and be that person's hero. Like, going back to my story about when I met Wolverine when I was a little kid, like, I was like, hey, cool, I got to meet one of my favorite heroes. And it's like, like, to be able to be on the other side of that coin, like, be the hero this time.
Mm-hmm.
And just be like, it's like, hey, now I get to be that guy who's in the suit. And then when the kid sees me, he's like, oh, I got to meet my favorite hero. Like, that is like what I like to do, and it's my favorite thing about it.
Dude, that is so cool. I'm gonna probably have to. I want to get with you later, because I thought about it a little bit too late for Halloween. And anyway, this Halloween was a bust anyway because of what's going on. But I'm gonna get with you, man. I want to do a Mandalorian one, man. That show's got me hooked.
We'll hook you
It's
up.
got me hooked. Yeah. But speaking of this crappy year, how has this affected, like, besides Comic Cons and conventions being canceled? I mean, has it affected like your cosplay business at all, your commission at all, if you don't mind me asking?
Actually, no. Like, I thought I was gonna take like a very big hit where I wouldn't commission anything at all,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been able to do a few,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
a lot with masks. Because like I make some scorpion masks, or some like
Holy
some
crap.
other like actual COVID masks that you could put filters into. That was actually one of the things that was requested by a lot of people, and I was able to print some and commission some for people and be like, okay, well, I got you on that. Some people have actually commissioned, like, I did a Stormbreaker, like, axe,
Oh yeah.
like, recently. Someone wanted it for Halloween. I just told him, okay, look, I can make it, but I'm just gonna have to give you a delivery fee. And he was like, oh, don't worry, I'll pay for it. I was like, okay. So then, like, I've been able to find ways to still be able to commission,
Mm-hmm.
even though, like, you can't, like, it's risky to really meet people right now because of the current situation.
Right.
But being able to deliver it, and like, if they're willing to pay for the delivery because they want the item, like, that has helped. But like, I think that it's a lot better when COVID wasn't around, because you're able to kind of, like, hey, we'll meet up, you can come over, you can come pick it up, or
Right.
the inconvenient part is the fact that you can't do that. But the fact that you could still send stuff, like, to them, and they'll pay the delivery, like, fee,
Yeah.
that has helped a lot.
That's good, man. I'm glad you're able to do that still, and it's awesome to see people still wanting to be able to at least up their game a little bit with the professional like yourself. So that's so awesome, man. I mean, I have to ask. I mean, I know you've been to quite a few conventions, especially San Diego and things like that. But do you have a favorite con that you've been to, or favorite, like, celebrity that you've been able to meet through your all time cosplaying and going to conventions?
Okay. Uh, well, I would have to say my favorite, like, convention that I've been to
Mm-hmm.
it's now a tie,
Oh,
because like, at first it was in 2015, because it was my very first time going to San Diego,
right.
and I had been trying for many years. Because I mean, if I can include this real quick, like, my very first convention was in Anaheim,
Oh,
and it was in 1999. And at the time, I didn't even know it was Anime Expo. Like, I actually did a little bit of research again, to go back and be like, so I went to this con in 99. Let me see which one it was at that location.
mm-hmm.
I realized that it was actually Anime Expo, the one that still currently happens right now. And that was my very first con in 99. And I was like, whoa, like, like, because I was in California at the time, and like that was my first introduction to cons. And then when I went back to Cali, like a few years like after that, and I would go on vacation to Disneyland and all that, I would see like first we'd go to San Diego though, because San Diego was a nice place to visit.
Hmm.
And then I would see like the signs in July. It said San Diego Comic Con, and I'm like, "What is this?" Like, and I was like, "No way!" And then I researched it, and I saw how huge it was, and I was like,
Right.
"I want to go there one day." So 2015 was my lucky year because like it's like a raffle system, so you're like scrambling to get it, and if you don't, the little blue circle burns into your brain while you're waiting to get tickets, and it's like you finally get the chance to get there, and you're like, oh, thank goodness, this is my year. And I got the best day. I got Saturday, and it's like like that was my first like big experience of a huge con, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, and being able to cosplay there and like see everyone else cosplay and meet people there,
Hmm.
like it's amazing. Like it's so much fun. But it's a tie now because last year I got the chance to go to Dallas Fan Expo.
Uh-huh.
And that was a lot of fun for me too, because that community is so welcoming, like cosplay community wise and people just there
Hmm.
overall. Like that was which actually leads into like one of the favorite celebrities that I've met. And that has to be Summer Glau. Summer Glau, like she was in Firefly, she was in Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles, and like her character Cameron in the Sarah Connor Chronicles was always one of my favorite characters.
Cool.
And like meeting her, like I'd been wanting to meet her since the show was still on air, and I never got the opportunity to. So when I finally went to Fan Expo, that was the time that I finally met her, and it was probably one of the best experiences I ever had because she was such a kind and like awesome person, dude.
Uh, Dude, that's so cool. I just love the stories that, especially when you meet a favorite celebrity, and it's such a happy story because I know there's so many times where like, oh yeah, I met so and so, but so and so wasn't so nice, or it wasn't a
Yeah.
good experience. So hearing stories about meeting celebrities and then them being so cool, it's such a great story because just like it's so heartbreaking to hear the complete opposite when you meet
Oh
someone.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's so cool that you've been able to have those experiences and being able to do what you do, man. Like I said, it's so cool and creative, and I know it's something that I probably would take me a long time to learn because I'm not so creative as something like that. So kudos, man. It's so awesome.
And I'll be honest with you, like a lot of the stuff that I do,
Mm-hmm.
like if we were putting it in like gears from a vehicle, and then like you have a total of 4 gears,
Mm-hmm.
this is barely first gear. I'll be quite honest with you.
Oh
There's
wow.
so much more that I can push, and I know I can push myself to another level too, and I really want to. And with all the time that we have right now is a perfect time for me to do that.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I can't wait to see what you come up with next. And I'm serious, man. I'm gonna get with you to see about maybe possibly getting some Mandalorian armor made, man, because I'm pretty hooked to the show, and so I think if I cosplayed it anyone, it'd be probably be that. So at least I
Yeah.
could wear baggy stuff and it won't look like I'm so.
No, man, I mean, you can rock that thing. It'll look really awesome, dude, for sure, dude.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, Jesus, anything else you want to say around before we end today about Operation Hope, cosplaying, any tips or anything else you'd like to say?
Sure. One of the things I would like to say is like that cosplay has opened up like a whole new world for me, like ever since I've been doing it. And I
Mm-hmm.
met so many great people and done so many great collaborations, especially like with my best friend, Christina.
Mm-hmm.
She goes by Christina Dark Cosplay.
Yes,
And
we've had her on the show. She is awesome, man. And thank you. No, sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
no, like, yeah, but like, yeah, like just being able to collaborate and do like fun collaborations with her because we both geek out over the same like kind of likes. She likes Batman, she likes Catwoman, she likes, and just being able to do things with her has been like a real blessing. And then getting a good friendship with her, like, building good friendship with her and more friendships with more people. Like one of my best friends of 13 years, my friend Charity, like being able to do like collaborations with her has been fun. And not only that, like we get to work on projects together,
Right.
and then just meeting so many people, like, cause like you like certain characters, and like it's rare to find people that like the same thing as you. like like how I said, I mentioned Batman and Wolverine,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's also like Resident Evil characters that are like Leon Kennedy and stuff. And my buddy EP Wolverine here in El Paso, his name is Adrian. We kind of share the same thing, and we both do almost the same cosplays, minus like Batman. Like he still hasn't done a Batman one, but he wants to.
Yeah,
But just meeting people who share the same fandom as you is so great, dude. Like
that's cool.
it's so awesome to meet people that share the same fandom and just make friendships in this community.
Yeah.
Like it's such a fun community here.
I mean, it, dude. Since I've worked with El Paso Comic Con and Las Cruces Comic Con, I mean, all meeting all the cosplayers around locally here in El Paso and Las Cruces, they're nothing but nice. I mean, especially like we tried to do the past few years over at El Paso Comic Con with Raywork Productions. We had to at least if you were dressed up at Comic Con, you come in and get a free photo, as long as you know
Mhm.
like Darth Sheridan. That was just something so cool to see. So many cosplayers come through and just take awesome pictures. I mean, a variety of skill set of each costume, and it's so cool to see. It's so awesome to see that it's so strong here in El Paso, especially you being one of the leaders and awesome cosplay makers here and cosplayers, man. It's so awesome.
Thank you.
Cool, man. Well, Jesus, man, I really like you. Thank you for joining us on Locally Sourced, man. Just keep plugging away, man. Keep getting better. And of course, if you all are interested, I'll put Jesus's information in the comment section, in the description below, so you can get a hold of him if you guys want to commission something from him, or even if you want to do something small or big. I'm sure he'll be able to hook you up.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, Jesus, thanks for joining me today, man.
Thank you.
All right, stay safe.
You too.